Bulletproof by you, different point of. There are infinite fractals of the same thread in this universe that can be followed where it all comes down to one bullet, one child, one world, one responsibility with only one choice, truth, because the lies are killing us. However, that's not the craziest part. It's how simple it is to pull the plug on this whole insane matrix. But you won't believe me at first. It takes a little patience and effort to take any ship that has had a frozen helm from rust due to lack of use, to even start to turn the rudders from the ruts of fully programmed realities of this matrix illusion. Inasmuch as we are being tested, so are those that seemingly test us every day. Only those that stand in truth are worthy of this test, and why you have this role here and now. It is not you who are being tested, really, but rather those that live in the world of lies, to offer them a choice based on their actions and reactions. A liar is a liar until they are confronted to separate those that don't know they're living lies and those that do know. The true separation of the wheat and chaff is at hand, and we are the allegorical grim reapers, performing this most critical role as the walkers between worlds. Again, I remind you that those that lie, cheat, and steal will lie, cheat, and steal, as that is all I expect from people like that. So ask yourself why you somehow expect different. Only truth can out a liar, and if you're not standing in the truth that you know to be true, you will bear the golden rule gift in the mirror. It is we, the tested, that now become the only test to pass, and liars don't get a pass with me. Yes, the simplicity of the legal name use and the literal soul trap it is absolutely profound, but then again, the simple truth always was and will be just that, profound. The Grim Reaper is indeed the one to fear, and we are that reaper that separates the wheat from the chaff, the liars from truth everywhere your scythe cuts forth. The wielder of the scythe can only truly harvest standing on the rock of truth, every one you find. Those I call aha moments, the very thing that builds your Jacob's ladder spiritually and your DNA strand or ladder physically. This is the path to immortality. Phonics reveals this simple truth again, where the Grim Reaper translates sonically into the Christ state of mind, ki ro, I am, through the spirit breath of consciousness duality heals, repay, repair. Only a wielder of truth can have the strength to use the scythes, let alone pick it up in the first place. It is not you that is being tested, really. It is the one that harms and lies that is. By their own actions, they are known, and I fully accept this. And in that observation, the one that lies is being tested in the eyes of all creation itself, to see what they will choose. All we have here is a lifetime to figure that out, or not. Do not fret with those that wish to harm and continue to do that, in that they are harming the children of creation itself, where we all have a choice to be that child or its murderer. We have one bullet now that connects all of consciousness, both spiritually and physically, and the connector is the legal name. The separator of living and dead reality, living an illusion of life, is the walking dead. Every choice you make affects all of consciousness because you are the hub of your creational fractal, plain and simple. By connecting to anyone or anything, a single choice goes fractal and connects to everything else in creation, where the illusion of levels of separation now becomes only one level, the plane of liars and those that wield truth. This is mainly achieved through enforcing ignorance in the guise of wisdom and lies in the form of false truths that is dependent on this very ignorance of humanity. It's as simple as rewriting history to your taste and selling that version of it. This is called school, be it private, public, or Sunday versions from kindergarten to a tenured professor. The good news is it doesn't take a professor to see the connections, where only a preschooler can see it best through show and tell. In the same way a family tree works, anyone on this planet can be connected to anyone on this planet, from a palace to the jungle, based on everyone around you that knows someone who knows someone who knows someone, etc. in the pi fractal tradition. That's the easy part to accept. What will be hard for people, though, is being connected to the one bullet that killed the one child that all of humanity is guilty of. And it is all achieved so easily through one deception called the legal name trick. For those not familiar with what I do and write, it may be best at this point to read other essays on this trick/subject to get a more complete overview of what's really going on with this ruse of ruses. It's a rather large red pill to try and swallow in one dose. It is the red pill, actually. Let's first look at the bullet. What and who goes into making it? It's typically made of lead and brass with some chemicals as the accelerant, all of which must all come together at the same time to make this possible, to create the finished bullet. A bullet has only one true intention, and that is to kill people and animals, where target shooting is merely practice for this intent. Bullets weren't created for paper bullseyes or shooting bottles. That's just an offshoot of the original intent. Let's now look at the child. What and who goes into the creation of a child? Nature has that intent built in, and it's called life and the fulfillment of natural law and order, regardless of what we do to interfere with this, where this urge of ebb and flow is infinite. Children can be brought into being through the vilest of rapes and the most passionate of truly loving parents equally. Such is the natural intent of creation built in to the human design and all other forms of life infinitely. Some children grew up to be farmers, miners, lumberjacks, bankers, soldiers, cooks, painters, shipbuilders, etc., and all of which are part and parcel to make the single bullet come into its final form and existence with the single intent to kill humans, its creator. The lead must be mined as well as the other metals and materials that not only go into the making of the actual bullet, but also in the manufacturing of the machines to make it possible. All of the equipment to deliver the materials, like cars, trucks, aircraft, ships, are also involved as well, as all of the people involved in their day-to-day jobs unwittingly involved in this one bullet, and everyone connects. The bankers complete the ruse, creating money via the legal name fraud that makes any and all of this possible, where people buy into the illusion, imaginary money value. But the truth is, the money is created with their souls, literally. No birth certificate bonds to trade, no money created at the human source level. Fact. These tentacles traverse the world, connecting everyone as an accomplice to this crime of one bullet, one child. And all are guilty through the continued worship of the legal name that lets the inmates continue to run their war and death asylum from the illusional safety of their ivory towers. All they need is for humanity to stay asleep with the legal name contracts in place, where they have the run of the money, souls, and literally life and death. They pass the illusion of money off to build the factories for bullet manufacturing, so have a look at how many people are involved in the making of every material for the factory itself, let alone those that put those materials together that also come from other factories creating machines, presses, advertising, financial institutions, schools, etc., where the lists go on and on. You need steel to make the presses, and that has to be mined and refined. You need specialized tools with specialized materials to make the dies, to make the machines, to make these bullets. The people involved need to be fed as well, be it in the factory cafeteria or a local burger joint, to keep them going for the next part of the shift. So that involves all of the food suppliers planet-wide as well, from farmer to mouth. The combine harvesters and tractors require building as well as designing on drafting tables, and who makes those? The materials need to be shipped in from all points across the globe, either by ship, airplane, truck, or barge. And everyone involved in making those things is party to the crime, as much as the guy or girl that pulled the trigger, sending that single 7.62 NATO bullet through the face of that 9-year-old little girl in Libya. And that required the involvement of every country and every treaty ever written in history in that moment of murder, intended murder. Intent to kill is the same thing to me as murder, where intent to do any harm to another is also exactly the same to me. Don't forget the coal miners and the gas drillers that make firing up the furnaces possible, and the forest industry for the paper for the orders, and the timber for countless frames, crates, and toothpicks in the cafeteria. By now, the fractals are expanding in your mind, and before long, you too will see your role in this bullet, with the only important one being your use of the legal name that makes the whole commerce and legal bullshit world possible at all. No legal names, no murder games, period. All the supposed shareholders and parasitic investors of the banks and companies are most connected by driving this whore of Babylon commerce reality onward to humanity's slaughter by pursuing their false idol of money, which is the purest form of parasitic theft, in that the money is all created off the souls of stolen children who grow up to be unwitting adults, feeding on themselves and their own children as well. This is all so easy to prove and see now for anyone with a stomach for truth and the true desire to end this mayhem of lunatic worship.